Okay, let's quickly take a look at the last one, which is the area of uniqueness for a school. All right. So the first one, basically, you know, the school is more like has some similar characteristics for religious organizations. I'm going to point that out. Now, the first one, which is the financial year or fiscal year, for schools, their financial or fiscal years is always majorly their session. So most schools, their financial or fiscal year is not always January to December, unlike the conventional business or businesses. Their financial or fiscal year basically is always around September year one to August of the following year, because that covers their normal session. So the session is their own activity. That is the fiscal year. So most of the time their fiscal year is always September, for instance, let's say September 2020 to August 2021, because that is when their whole activity revolves around, right? Then the other one for management reporting is always on timely basis. We have 3 terms in a session. They do their management reporting per term, first term, second term, third term, and all. Then one major key inventory management again, one major key area of uniqueness is the inventory management. Normally we have the perpetual or periodic inventory system. So what this means is that the perpetual system means that they are going to set up every bit of the inventory they are selling, right? The uniform, the textbooks from Macmillan's, Lantern, for each of their classes. Probably if the school has nursery, primary, college, and all, and they have crèche, they have after school, all right? Now, they are going to set up all the items they sell, they buy and resell, the likes of the uniform, textbooks, exercise books, stationaries, and all. They set every bit of it up on the software, right? And they now add it probably at the beginning of a new session. They already know how many books and all stationaries the students would need for each of the classes rather, right? So they fix everything in and add it up to the invoice for the tuition. Are you good? Now, so when they are selling, the inventory is reducing and they are making sales and the cost of sales is calculated, right? Then on the other hand, the periodic inventory here means that to a large extent they might not keep track of all of those items. Probably they maintain it on an Excel sheet as they are buying. Everything goes to their cost of sales for that items. For instance, like uniform now, when they buy uniform or they have a manufacturer of their uniforms, when the person brings it and they pay, the money the particular amount just goes to the cost of sales. Then at the end of a particular period, most of the time at the end of the session, they will just, okay, how many inventory do we have left for this particular uniform and what's the value? Then by the time they know that, they can now pass entry between their cost of sales account and inventory account. All right. The reason why most might want to adopt the periodic is because of the tedious aspect of you have to keep track of every bit. And the truth of the matter is you can't just mix the two, you have to just choose one. So you have to keep track of every bit of the item you are selling, right from your stationaries, uniform. And uniforms are of different types. There's the main school uniform, there's the cardigan, there's the sports wear, there's the occasional wear, there's the cultural wears and all. So you have to keep track of them one after the other. And in some cases where there's a college and the uniforms are different for nursery, primary, so you have to keep track of them differently that way. All right. Then for books too, you agree with me that different classes, they have only one class can have 20 different books. So you have to do the same thing by keeping track of them. Macmillan English book 1, Lantern Mathematics book 1, Lantern Social Studies book 1, and all. So you have to actually choose one of the two. Then another area of uniqueness here is the customer capturing. You are not capturing the parents here. Take note, even for the father is the parent that is paying. But in your books, you are capturing the name of that student, they are paying on their behalf. So for instance, a parent can have 4 kids or 4 children, because when you are raising the invoice, you raise an invoice separately for each of those kids from different classes. All right. So for your customers capturing here, you are capturing the student or the pupil, not the parents. Are you good? Right? Now, then the basis of accounting, majorly, the basis of accounting most of the time is accrual basis. Now, most schools now, their basis of accounting is accrual. Why is it accrual? Is because in some instances, for their revenue, for instance, the town will have started a new session or a new term, and you don't even ask, the school have started, they will have been teaching them. So that means you have fulfilled part of your own obligation and they have not paid. So in that case, you are running on accrual basis because you have fulfilled your own part, they are teaching them and all. But there are some that before the commencement of the term, they pay immediately. Then those ones can be on cash basis, right? Then the other ones that pays when the session has started, they pay later and all, you have to be running after them for payment and all. So most of the time, you make use of the accrual basis, right? Then, treatment of school sections. So the school sections here is equivalent to the church branches we talked about. So a school now, they can have different sections, have nursery, have primary, have crèche, have pre-nursery, have college. Out of the college too, they have junior secondary, they have senior secondary. So you want to treat all of these as different sections, such that you can see how much each of these sections are generating to the school as a whole. Aside from that, your school sections can still be you having different branches. You have one branch in Magodo, there's another branch in Ikeja, there's another branch at Ilupeju, and all still the same school. So you are going to have all of these sections under each of the branches, just like we did earlier for our province here, using the same class feature. So come to your class list. You can see that this is a province now. Under Agege province, you have Ishaga district. So say for instance, we have MTS schools. So we have Magodo, the one in Magodo, this is the class. So under the Magodo now, you can now have a sub, that is the college. So it's going to be a sub under the Magodo. Then under this now, you can still have, the primary. Alright, which is still going to be a subclass under this. Then under this now, you can still have the nursery. Alright, this is still going to be a subclass here. Then under that now, you can still have the crèche, which is still going to be a subclass here. Then under this now, you can have after school. That is all those lesson and all. You have after school, which is still going to be under this. Then under crèche now, you can still have pre-nursery. Probably that's what they called kindergarten before. So you can have pre-nursery. Alright. So same thing here. Are you good? Now, so this is this. Then on the other hand now, so you treat it as such. So anytime you are posting any of your transaction, say you want to raise an invoice for instance, you are going to see the column where you select what units. Is it for Magodo? If it is for Magodo, which of the school section does it belong to? Is it college? Is it crèche? Is it nursery? Is it pre-nursery and all? Alright. Then another thing we have here is the taxes applicable to a school. So like I said earlier, for a school too, they don't, major tax law exempts them from paying it, like CIT. They don't pay company income tax. The value added tax too, they don't pay because no value added here. No, there's no conversion process. Then some part of withholding taxes, they pay withholding taxes. Probably some vendors, that carry out. They can also act an agent to deduct at source. If they have any vendors that work for them, probably that is not part of their normal business operation, like somebody that sells uniform to them, or somebody that sells books to them and all. But we have somebody that probably do some repairs, a registered company that does repairs for them, that where they bought their bosses and all. So they can actually withhold from those people invoices and remit to the relevant tax authority. Alright, as far as those companies they are withholding from are not exempted from that form of tax. Alright, then there's one new resolution now on educational institution. That is probably from the new judgment from the Court of Appeal, that now for an educational institution to be taxable, we have to look at the context majorly. Yes, okay, yes, same thing applies. For college too, you can have SSS and GSS, alright? So let me show you that. So I just saw that quickly now. So you come to list, class list. So under college now, you can have SSS and GSS. So we have JSS. So subclass is going to be under college. Alright, click OK. Then same thing, new. Then you have SSS, subclass, still under college. Are we good? Now, so back to what I was discussing earlier for the taxes applicable. Now for there's a new judgment from the Court of Appeal about for educational institution, basically, that for taxes to be applicable to educational institution, generally is a company income tax anyway. For company income tax to be applicable to educational institution, we are looking at the context rather than the activity they are carrying out. Even though they are carrying out educational service and all, but we are still going to look at the context. What that means is that, for instance, a school is supposed to be, for instance, we are supposed to hear something like Chrislam School. We know it is a school. Or we should hear something like British Caleb International School. We know it is a school. And that is not registered as a limited liability company. It is registered as an incorporated trustee, like an NGO and all. Alright? Now, if a school, you are carrying out a school service, but you registered it as a limited, you have something like Chrislam School Limited, then it's going to be applicable for CIT. That is what the resolution is saying, that we are actually looking at the context rather than what exactly are you doing, what is your business operation and all. So even though you carry out educational service, we are now looking at, because you being a limited is going to allow you to be able to carry out other services or carry out other businesses aside from school business. That's why they say that we are looking at the context rather than your activity. So we are expected that for a school you are supposed to be Ayodeji School or Monday School. Alright? We are not expecting to see something like Monday Educational Services Limited. No. Immediately the business form changes. If it is a limited, then it's going to applicable to tax, majorly for CIT. Alright? So that is the resolution now, basically, anyway. Yeah, for that, I think that is straightforward. I have a question here. You can do that also instead of college, then JS1 to 3, SS1 to 3. We can always do that. So it's pretty simple, since I've already shown us how to go about it. Alright, so basically we have the school project as well. So that is the same way we treat every other project, so no difference. Alright, now I have some questions here. How can we post receipt from each class? GS1, you have 100 students and there will be some that have not paid in full. Alright, so in this case, you use your invoice and receive payment. So invoice will be used to raise the school bill. Normally in a school, they'll say, hey, give us our bill. Let's see the bill for this term. Let's see the bill. So that bill is what